Hello, everyone. We're Curtis and Loretta, and we're here to present the third segment of our How to Make and Prosper by Creating a Recording series. So I suggest that you listen very intently to everything that Loretta has to say, like I always do, because in this way, she will impart to you very important knowledge.
Yeah, well, we both have a lot of knowledge to bring to you. Might be interested in knowing this. This is part 3 of our little series of how to make a recording. Part 1, we covered how to go into the studio, actually record the songs. And part 2, we covered post-production things. And in this one, the third one and final little video we're going to make is how you promote your album and your album release concert after it's all done. And so you can find part 1 and 2 on our YouTube channel, Curtis and Loretta.
And this is a very important segment. Oh, did we mention we just released a new CD ourselves, as a matter of fact?
Yeah, so this is all things some of it we already knew and a lot of things we learn as we go along. And so right now we're going to get right into it and talk about, now once you've made your recording, how do you let people know it's out there? You want to get it out to the world. How do you promote it and also the album and the concert that you're going to be doing to release it and get radio airplay? So social media is definitely, I think, the best place to get free advertising these days. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I know there's other ones too, but those are the 3 that I do. Well, I should say because Curtis doesn't get on there so much. But it's a great way for free advertising. And you could really start getting the word out early. You may be working on the recording for a couple months or a few months before you actually do the release concert and come out with the recording. But it's good to get a buzz going. You want to get people excited about it and looking forward to it. So it's good to maybe during the process of making the recording, take pictures in the studio, put those on your website and on social media. And when it gets closer to your release date, then you definitely want to post pictures of you and artwork from the CD, things like that. And if you're promoting your CD release concert, I should say your album release concert, definitely you make a Facebook event on Facebook. You invite friends. And there are a lot of, on Facebook, there are a lot of local music Facebook groups that you can join. I know here in the Twin Cities there's several that are like Twin Cities folk or music scene and different ones that you can join, and then you can post your events on there. So the next thing you want to think about is posters, and they kind of have a limited effect these days, especially in a big city. Like how many posters can you put up and who's going to see them? But you want to definitely post at the venue where your concert will be, and anywhere else you're likely to connect with folk or acoustic music lovers, such as music stores, coffee houses, and food co-ops have always been a good place for us to post posters also. Another one you want to check out is newspapers. And of course, these days, newspapers have changed in the last many years. A lot of them have shut down or really slimmed down what they include. But you do want to try to get it out to newspapers. So write a press release about your CD or album release concert. Of course, you include the date, time, place, and a brief, but as interesting as possible description of your album. You want to get a hook in there, get people interested in it. And so you'll email that press release along with a high-resolution photo of you and your band and a link to a place to download or stream the digital track so they can listen to it. So how do you find out who to email it to? Well, I get on the website of whichever newspaper you're going to try to send it to and find out who's in charge of the arts department, the entertainment department. A bigger newspaper would have someone like that. A smaller town, that you might actually end up sending it to the newsroom or just the actual editor of the paper.
And you might have better luck actually getting published in small towns.
Yeah.
If you happen to have any fans that live in a small town where you're going to do a concert or close by, you might want to have them, if the paper won't give you free coverage, have them talk to, if they have friends with a business or something, maybe they can find a sponsor for an ad as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. Yeah, so you find out who to send it to. And also a lot of newspapers have at least an online event calendar. So they would send all that information and be on their website. Sometimes you just email it in, or sometimes there's a form on their website to send it into. And like Curtis said, you might have better luck with coverage in smaller towns because big city newspapers, there's so much going on. There's so much competition. It's really hard.
Yeah, with the internet and a lot of the entertainment papers don't even exist anymore.
Well, I know this is going all over the world on YouTube, but in the Twin Cities, there really aren't any entertainment papers anymore. There used to be City Pages, The Reader. There's the Dispatch, which covers some arts, but mostly it's online is the way to go these days, it seems like. And leading into that, there are a lot of online calendars you can post your gigs to. The ones we do are like Bands in Town. It's called Bands in Town, all one word. You can Google that. And Undiscovered Music. There's several places like that, and you can just get on there. You open an account, and it's free, and then you can post listings of your concerts.
And I'm sure there's similar, things, and all across the country.
Yeah, and those two I mentioned are national. I don't know if they're in other countries, but you can tell he doesn't do the online stuff.
I learned to type though.
With 2 fingers.
No, one.
One finger. Okay, so next let's go on to radio. How do you promote your album release concert? Well, it's great if you can find a local station that has a folk music show. I don't know of any stations that only play folk or acoustic music. That is not happening these days. But some stations have a folk or acoustic show, maybe on a Saturday morning or something. So really try to find that out and try to find out an email or some way to contact the host. And some of them do a live interview. You might go into the studio, or you might do a phone in, or even these days do a Zoom interview with them and chat about the CD, and then they'll play some cuts from your CD, or maybe even play live. And that can really help get people out. Sometimes they'll do a free ticket giveaway for you to generate some interest in the show. And some shows will just some radio shows will also just announce shows for you too. So definitely always send your listings into whoever you can find. Here in the Twin Cities, KFAI, Fresh Air Radio, is very supportive. There's also The Current, NPR, and if you're into bluegrass, there's Bluegrass Saturday Morning with Phil Nussbaum on KBEM. So those are some local ones if you're in the Twin Cities. And so how about radio airplay to promote your CD? This would be going all over the country and overseas also. And the way we found to do it, the best way we found is getting on, there's a site called folkradio.org. It's also known as Folk DJ. And you sign up on there. And what it is all these DJs from across the country that have folk shows on different radio stations will post their playlists on this site. And then you receive emails every day. So the best way to receive these emails, if you sign up to just get single emails, you're going to get maybe 100 a day or something, because there's all these playlists coming in. So what I did is sign up for the digest, which means you get 3 or 4 emails a day, and then there's several emails from all kinds of DJs in each one.
And not all DJs list on this. You might be getting some play that's not, incorporated into these emails, but
absolutely.
But a lot of them do.
A lot of them do, and it's the place I've found that you can find the most, and it's really a treasury of information to get on Folk DJ. So before you ever start sending anything to people on that site, you want to get on there and gather information from all those emails. They'll have their show listed, and their email address will always be on there, the name of the host of the show. And sometimes they'll have an address where to send it to. Sometimes there'll be information about whether they prefer a physical CD or a digital download. And we've found that it's great these days if you can find more places to send digital downloads rather than physical CDs.
Oh yeah. And if you, number one, if it is a great investment to send either one, the physical or the internet recording, to these DJs, but you need to find out which ones are going to play them, so they don't all end up on eBay. But if you do mail your CDs, make sure and mail them media.
Media rate at the post office. Yeah,
you save a little bit. And like when they ask you if it's liquid or dangerous, I go, no, all these ideas and concepts are helpful. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so definitely you can send them media rate, which really helps because postage is expensive these days. So you're going to be on Folk DJ, and you'll be receiving all these emails every day. So check out those playlists and see which of those radio shows play your kind of music, what you might fit into. Because there's going to be all kinds of folk music. There'll be, bluegrass, folk, maybe Irish music. So see which ones would fit into you, because you don't want to send it, if you play Irish music, you don't want to send it to a bluegrass show. It's just going to go in the wastebasket. And then, and also when you actually send a physical CD to somebody, you want to include a one sheet, which is really a bio about yourself and about the CD. So they have some information about you. And then you can also make a post on Folk DJ yourself. You can send an email into them saying, hey, we've got this new CD, this new recording, and we'd like you to listen to it, and let us know if you want a copy of it. You can also send copies out to people, but then ask if anybody else wants one. And you can do that a couple times. Maybe you don't want to post all the time because they get annoyed if you do that, if you post too much. So we put our digital downloads on Dropbox on the internet. That's a place you can store them online. We have a Dropbox account. You don't want to send actual digital songs in your email to these people because it's going to be way too huge. It's going to be really annoying to them. So I made a folder for Folk DJ on our Dropbox, and this included several things. It has a folder with the songs in WAV format and the songs in MP3 format because different DJs prefer different formats to listen to. And I have a folder with the lyrics to all the songs so they can take a look at that. And there's a folder with production credits, like guest musicians, who else played on it, where it was recorded, things like that. And a picture of the cover artwork, a link to SoundCloud. And that's a site we mentioned in our last video. It's a place where you can post your songs for free, and then people can stream it for free. But that's a way DJs could listen to it without having to take the time to actually download the songs. They can see, if there's something they do want to download on there. And a DJ guide, and this is something I found that be really helpful. It's just a list of the songs and a few lines of a description of each song. Curtis and I worked on this, and you might want to say, like, Curtis wrote a song about dogs. And so for that, what did we say on that one, Curtis? This is a song about getting a dog during the pandemic, how helpful it'll be to you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So get one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a ukulele, and kazoo. It's really upbeat, things like that. Or you might want to say another song is a haunting song about a long lost love with guitar, harp, fiddle. You want to give them an idea of what it is, because these DJs are getting an amazing amount of CDs or digital downloads all the time.
And some DJs have a motif to their shows, sometimes it's for one show, a certain subject matter, or sometimes it's, it's just the theme of their show. So you might consider that, and if you have something you think would apply, make sure and highlight that when you send it to them. Yeah,
they don't all. Sometimes they'll have once in a while they'll have a theme, but other shows will have, like, they always focus on like social justice or really upbeat songs.
Women's music. Yeah,
or women's music, different things. So that's really helpful. They get an unbelievable amount of recording. So that's why you want this DJ sheet in there. And you don't want it to be really huge. I make it like a letter size. When I print it out on my printer, I make it like a letter size 8.5 by 11, like this, but then I cut it in half down the middle so that when they get it, they can fold it in half and put it inside the CD jewel case and keep it with the CD. And they get so many CDs, you want to help them find a song they'll want so they can read through the descriptions and go, oh, this one sounds good, I'll check that out. They probably don't have time to listen to your whole CD. That's the point of it. So now after you've sent out your CD and or the digital downloads, you get back on and look at all the emails from Folk DJ. You've got to wait a little while till they receive them, till they receive the disc or the download, and check to see who's playing you. And this is great. This is my favorite thing to do. It's called tracking, radio tracking. You get on there and say, oh, look at this person played me. And I keep track of all that. And I send right away an email to that DJ and say, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's great. And you might want to post once more or twice on Folk DJ saying, we still have copies of this. We'd like to send you one if you'd like one. And you might want to point out some specific song. For example, our CD was released, our Lift the World was released in October, and we have a song on there, which we're going to do in a little bit, called Santa Claus on Halloween. And so it was a great idea to say, if you want something that's seasonal, here's a song called Santa Claus on Halloween. And we did get several DJs that played it because of that. So that can help you get more airplay. And one other thing I wanted to cover was getting reviews. And you want to get reviews of your album, if possible, to put on your press kit, some things that you would send out to prospective gigs that you want to play at. And you want to put all these, if you get a review or quotes from people, put them on your website, Facebook, and in your press kit that you're sending out to prospective gigs. Then there aren't as many paper magazines at all anymore. We used to send our stuff to Dirty Linen and sing out. Those have gone by the wayside. There is still No Depression. They have a paper magazine, but most of it is online. So when you're sending out things for CDs, you want to send the recording and or the digital link and your bio. And be sure, if you get something from them, be sure to post it on your website and be sure to send them a thank you for it. And and
one of the DJs might say something nice,
yes.
And you've got a quote. And always get one from your mother. That's a sure bet.
Yeah, right. That's really impressive. Yeah. So I think that's covers about everything that we want to talk about today. But I did want to thank the Minnesota State Arts Board one more time. We had a grant, the Creative Support for Individuals grant. to support making our CD lift the world and our CD release concerts. And these videos are also part of the activities of that grant. So we appreciate them so much. We're so happy to live in Minnesota.
And I urge all of you acoustic folk musicians to just persevere, keep playing your songs for people, because I think sometimes they're just more helpful than we realize. Yeah.
Yes, and amazing. And you see those folk DJ playlists. There are DJs playing them in other countries too. There's people on there posting from Australia, New Zealand, Canada. And I want to say too, about talking about postage, that it's really expensive now to send an actual physical CD to another country. So definitely see if they'll take a digital download. So that's it for now. And we're going to play a little song. We're going to play Santa Claus on Halloween.
And she wrote this because she watched me one time. Now, I'm assuming that many of you folk musicians out there are like us. We are thrift store treasure hunters, indeed. So you can save that little bit of money so you can afford to go and do a newer recording, indeed. So you know that at thrift stores around Halloween, they save all these cool clothes, or wild clothes at least, and put them right in the middle of the store so you can go in there. And I think the concept is you can create your own individualized Halloween costume. But I find things I just like to wear all year long. But a few years ago, I went in, I found a 1940s big department store, top of the line Santa Claus outfit. Now, we live on a hill here in northeast Minneapolis. 2 sets of steps come up to our house. So I got my I put on Halloween night, I got my biggest stuffed chair. I put all my candy in an old canvas laundry bag, and I put on my Halloween costume, and I went out there, and it was really cool because these little kids would come storming up that first set of steps with their baskets and their bags out. And before they could even yell trick or treat, I looked at them and I said, "Have you been good this year?" And they looked at me, and their eyes got big and their jaws dropped, and they came up that last set of steps with awe and absolute reverence, And I would say, "Well, have you been good this year?" They say, "Well, not always." I say, "Well, the truth is worth a whole handful of candy." And so we had a great time, and Loretta watched me, and she wrote me this song.
Hold the chicken, hold the meat, just serve him up whole wheat. Never try to trim his beard, scissors are his only fear. He waits on me like I'm a queen, he's Santa Claus on Halloween. He is one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty, he'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. They can keep their ivy halls and the mega shopping malls. The junk store is his favorite place, Hawaiian shirts and a tweed suitcase. He doesn't own a suit or tie except one from 1895. He is one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty, he'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. Take it there, boy. He doesn't text, but he is wise. He hates long goodbyes. He likes when you say what you mean and don't chatter on like a talk machine. Fashion doesn't mean a thing. He can't dance, but he sure can sing. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. He'd give you his last dime. He works hard all the time. He likes deals and bartering. That's how he got my wedding ring. He can fix up our guitars, but not so much on a car. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides, but he stands strong, listening inside. He likes love and honesty. He'll stand by you, he'll stand by me. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. He's one of a kind, that boy of mine. Oh, he's my rock, that boy of mine.